Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. This is your pre-market briefing for Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. We do have significant geopolitical macro developments involving Iran and the Strait of Hormuz, which is a global critical oil transit route. Markets are reacting. SPY gap down, QQQ gap down, the Dow Jones gap down, y'all. And it's 1.5% minimum. With QQQ the most, almost 2%. The VIX spiked up to 27.3. It's currently down a little bit to 25.3. Yesterday it closed at 21.4. This is real volatility expansion. I track the headlines, the data, and the market levels so you don't have to. This show is for education and entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. Let's get into the mantra. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. The Strait of Hormuz is closed, y'all. Millions of barrels of oil move through that region daily. And this is a big deal. This is huge, y'all. So, what's that going to do to the market? The market is going to be risk off. Volatility is going to spike. Energy should run. And the indices should drop as well. Watch out for crude futures, energy ETFs, the 10-year yield. I do have a new watch list for the Iran war. All right, as far as earnings, let's check out what had earnings yesterday. Yesterday, Riot had earnings, and they missed by 625%. I guess with that Bitcoin crypto sell-off, yeah, Riot is definitely feeling it. And they missed earnings by 4%. They're down 3% in the pre-market. And next we have MongoDB. They beat by 11% on earnings, and they beat on revenue by 3%. But as you can see by this monster candle, they are down 26% from yesterday's close. Today in the pre-market, we had Target. They beat on earnings by 14%. Small miss on revenue, and they're up 3.5% in the pre-market. Next, Best Buy. They beat earnings by 6%. Small miss on revenue, and they're up 11% in the pre-market. And AutoZone. They beat earnings by 1%. Small miss on revenue, but they're down about 7% in the pre-market. And after market close, we have CrowdStrike. All right. Let's get into Robert Greene's daily law. Retain the craftsman spirit. Keep in mind, the work is the only thing that matters. The great masters retain the craftsman spirit. They are motivated not by fame or money, but by mastering their craft. This protects them from the emotional swings of success and failure. Steve Jobs exemplified this. His focus was not short-term market reaction, but product excellence and perfection in design. When it comes to long-term investing, geopolitical volatility tests conviction. The craftsman investor focuses on process, studies businesses, maintains discipline, avoids emotional overreaction. The work matters more than the headlines. When it comes to active trading, in volatile sessions like today, reduce size if needed, respect levels, wait for confirmation, and execute cleanly. Craftsmanship is discipline under pressure. All right. So don't force any trades today. Wait for confirmation. This is Trading Dollar Tickers, and I'm your host, Matt Riches. All right, give me 20 seconds to finish setting up the show for today. You know, I gotta be in my producer bag as well. All right, there we are. We are good. Actually, let me write good morning in the chat. So give me that whole 20 seconds back. There we go. There we go. All right, let's get into it, y'all. Okay. Let's check out our Trading Dollar Tickers. Here we go. Let's check out our pre-market levels. So we got NVIDIA in the pre-market. All these are in the pre-market. 177.95. Google, 297.98. Apple, 263.58. Microsoft, 391.19. Amazon, 203.79. TSM, 349.90. AVGO, 311. Meta, 643.85. Tesla, 393. Berkshire B, 480. 477.27. And Walmart, 126. SPY in the pre-market, 675, y'all. QQQ, 596. The Dow Jones ETF, 480.42. The VIX, you see the spike up in the VIX from yesterday? The VIX is spiked up to 27.30. It's currently 25.90. And as you can see, the 10-year Treasury is back up. You see how it had dropped to 396. And it's been running. And it gapped up again today. It's at 411 right now. Gold has been falling. Remember, gold had ran up crazy. Gold is at $5,140 per ounce. The gold mini is at 101.74 in the pre-market. Silver got clapped. It gapped down. It's at 74.18 in the pre-market. The copper miners is at 86.34. AMD is at 191.29. Bitcoin is at 67,000 right now, y'all. IBIT is at 38 in the pre-market. Ethereum is at 1961. BMNR is at 1948 in the pre-market. Palantir gapped down, even though they are AI defense stock. Palantir is at 141.82 in the pre-market. And Robinhood is at $74 in the pre-market, y'all. Let's check out these Iran War 2026 numbers, y'all. BNO, the United States Brent Oil Fund, in the pre-market is at $40.44. Is up in the pre-market. USO, the United States Oil Fund, is also up in the pre-market. It's currently at 94.30. XOP, State Street's Oil and Gas Exploration and Production, is up in the pre-market. It's at 162.05. EIO is up in the pre-market. XLE is up in the pre-market. Looks like it's going to hit an all-time high today. Lockheed Martin is at 681.88. Northrop Grumman is at 770. Raytheon is at 213. Chevron looks like it's going to hit an all-time high today. It's at 190 in the pre-market. And ExxonMobil is at 155 in the pre-market, y'all. All right, let's get into it. Let's get ready. Market open, market open, market open. The market is open, 6:30 a.m., March 3rd, 2026. Let's get into it. You see these $1 trillion tickers, everything is red. Everything is red, y'all. Nvidia is at 179.09. Google, 297.54. Apple, 262.86. Microsoft, 395.82. Amazon, 203.76. TSM, 394.58. AVGO, 309. Meta, 650. Tesla, 392. Berkshire B, 473, y'all. Ooh. That thing was just at 500 a few days ago. Walmart, the only one that's close to break even. It turned green for a second and now it's back red. 127.04 for Walmart. All right. Let me run these other tickers, y'all. SPX is down over 1.5%. 6,774. SPY is at 676.23. The NAS 100 down 1.5% at 24,579. QQQ still under 600 at 598.04. Pam Bondi's Dow Jones is at 48,000, y'all. $34. Woo, that thing is down. All right, the Dow Jones ETF is down over 1.5% at 481. The VIX is at 2590, y'all. 10-year Treasury note is at 411. Gold is at 5,119 per ounce. The gold mini is at 101.31. Silver is down almost 10%. At 73.52. The copper miners ETF is down almost 10% at 84.84. AMD is down over 3% at 192.09. Bitcoin is at 67,167. IBIT is at 38.10. Ethereum is at 19.65. BMNR is back under $20. It's at 19.91. Palantir, nice open for today, but it's only up 0.5% at 146. And Robinhood is down over 4% at 75.36. All right, let's get into the market caps for our $1 trillion tickers. We have Nvidia, Nvidia, 4.33 trillion. Apple, 3.85 trillion. Google, 3.61 trillion. Microsoft, 2.96 trillion. Amazon, 2.18 trillion. TSM, 1.81 trillion. Meta, 1.64 trillion. Tesla, 1.48 trillion. AVGO, 1.47 trillion. Berkshire B, 1.03 trillion. And Walmart, 1.01 trillion. Let's check out the Fear and Greed Index. We should definitely be moving in fear. Yes, we are at 35 in fear. We were at 47 yesterday. We're at 35 in fear, y'all. All right. Let me set up this 8-chart display. Top left-hand corner, we have Nvidia. To the right, we have Google, Apple, Microsoft. Underneath Nvidia, we have Amazon. To the right, we have TSM, AVGO, and Meta Platforms. All right, let's get into some news. All right. Iran's Revolutionary Guards have announced that the Strait of Hormuz is officially closed, and Iran will fire on any ship trying to pass through. This is per the Iranian state media. All right. Next, this is from Bar Chart. Amazon data center reportedly bombed in the UAE. Crypto KOL Simon Hayes posted on X that an Amazon data center in the UAE was reportedly bombed during the Iranian strikes. The incident has raised concerns about the safety and security of international infrastructure in the region, in the region. Details about the extent of the damage and any potential casualties remain unclear at this time. Authorities are expected to investigate the situation further to assess the impact and ensure safety of other facilities in the area. All right. This is from Walter Bloomberg. U.S. Embassy warns of imminent attack in Saudi city. The U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia has warned of an imminent missile and drone attack on the oil-rich eastern Saudi city of Dhahran. Do not come to the U.S. consulate in Dhahran, the embassy advised. Take cover immediately in your residence on the lowest available floor and stay away from windows. All right, it's going down, y'all, in the Saudi city of Dhahran. Next is from the Kobayashi letter. China has officially opposed the U.S. and military action in Iran. If China get in this thing, boys, it's gonna be World War III in this thing. Because you know Russia gonna get in too. Even though Russia, they still fighting in Ukraine. All right. Next is from Peter Lynch. He said far more money has been lost by investors preparing for corrections than trying to anticipate corrections than has been lost in the corrections themselves. So it was the fear that paralyzed the investors when they should have just kept on investing. All right, next. Amazon's data center unit has signed a deal to buy George Washington University's Virginia Science and Technology campus in Auburn, Virginia, for $427 million, y'all. That's gonna be an incredible place to study. All right, let's see. Energy shock. Oil surges with the Brent above $85, while European gas spikes up to 48%. China calls on all sides to protect the Strait of Hormuz. Stocks and bonds fall as inflation fears rise. 2 drones hit the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh. Donald Trump vows retaliation. Israel deploys troops to southern Lebanon to boost security. Riyadh, that sounds like the dude that be paying all the boxers their highest amount of money that they ever got paid. Riyadh season. That's dang. I wonder how bro's doing. I don't know his name. They call him I don't know. I can't remember his name, but he was always the one who was putting up the money for the fights. Somebody put his name in the chat, and we can look him up on Twitter. I don't remember his name. All right, next. Rosenblatt raised its price target for Palantir up to $200 from $150 while maintaining a buy rating. All right, next. Every month is Black History Month here on $1 Trillion Tickers. So let's get into this James Baldwin quote. When any white man in the world says, "Give me liberty or give me death," the entire white world applauds. When a black man says exactly the same thing, he is judged a criminal and treated like one. Salute to that, brother James Baldwin. All right, next. This is what Trump said a couple hours ago. The United States munitions stockpiles have, at the medium and upper medium grade, never been higher or better. as was stated to me today. We have a virtually unlimited supply of weapons. Wars can be fought forever and very successfully using just these supplies, which are better than other countries' finest arms. At the highest end, we have a good supply, but are not where we want to be. Much additional high-grade weaponry is stored for us in outlying countries. Sleepy Joe Biden spent all of his time and our country's money giving everything to Zelensky of Ukraine. Hundreds of billions of dollars worth. And while he gave so much of the super high end away for free, he didn't bother to replace it. Fortunately, I rebuilt the military in my first term and continue to do so. The United States is stocked and ready to win big. Thank you for your attention on this matter. So, defense stocks are gonna continue to run whenever there's a new war. And here we are in a new war in Iran. Okay, next is from Reuters Business. The price of flights between Asia and Europe have soared after the closure of key Middle Eastern hubs due to the U.S.-Israel war against Iran, with airline websites showing tickets on many popular routes booked out for days.
Were cancelled. Australia's flight prices from Asia to Europe have soared after major Middle Eastern airports closed due to the US-Israel conflict with Iran. Many popular routes are fully booked for days, with very few seats left. Major Gulf hubs like Dubai International Airport, which normally handles over 1,000 flights a day, remained shut on Tuesday. This has slashed capacity on routes such as Australia to Europe, where Gulf carriers like Emirates and Qatar Airways usually dominate. In Australia, planes stayed grounded at Sydney Airport on Tuesday as additional flights to the Middle East were cancelled. Australia's Flight Centre Travel Group said it has experienced a 75% increase in calls to stores and emergency lines since the crisis began. Travel disruptions have also spread to other hubs. Dozens of stranded passengers waited outside ticket offices of Middle Eastern Airlines at Thailand's Phuket International Airport on Tuesday. This passenger expressed her frustration over being stranded. She said she and her family were unable to return home and are facing extra expenses. However, airlines using direct routes or unaffected hubs may gain passengers short-term as people avoid Gulf carriers. Reuters on Tuesday found few near-term seats and elevated prices for Asia to London flights. Airlines such as Cathay Pacific, Qantas, and Thai Airways are filling seats fast and demanding high fares for the few places that are available.
All right, next. This from Wallow, so this is motivation. Business rewards patience. The seeds you plant today may not bloom tomorrow, but they will bloom if you keep watering them. Shout out Wallow for that motivation. Next.
Flight price.
Iran bans the export of food products until further notice. Because, it's not going to be any imports. So they got to hold on to their food, man. That's a real war zone, man. Sheesh. All right, next. NVIDIA announced that its annual GTC event will take place March 16th through the 19th. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang will deliver a keynote in front of 30,000 on Monday, March 16th. GTC is the epicenter of the AI industrial era. AI is no longer a single breakthrough or application. It is essential infrastructure. Every company will use it. Every nation will build it, from energy and chips to infrastructure, models and applications. Every layer of the stack is advancing at once, and you'll see that all come to life in GTC, y'all. Next, Iraq will be forced to cut its production by more than 3 million barrels in a few days if oil tankers cannot move freely and reach loading ports, per two Iraqi officials. Next, the average price of a gallon of gas jumped 11 cents overnight to about $3.11, according to the U.S. All right, let's check out the heat map. Oh, let me refresh. Oh, wow. You see that? The only thing that, wow. Talk about a bloody Tuesday, y'all. Wow. This is crazy. You see it here, y'all. Wow. All right, let's check out the sectors. Oh, all the sectors. Yes. All the sectors are red. Let's check it out. XLK technology is down over 2%, 136.67. XLY is down almost 1%. This is consumer discretionary, 113.22. XLC communications is down almost 0.75% at 117. XLF is down over 2% at 50.27. Healthcare is down 1.5% at 156.11. Consumer staples is down almost 1% at $88. Energy is down, but it did hit an all-time high today at 57.72. But it sold off since the market opened a little bit. Not really, but because it was up in the pre-market. But it's currently down almost 1.5% at 56.29. Utilities is down over 2.25% at 46.30. Industrials is down over 2.5% at 174.20. Materials is getting hit the hardest. It's the biggest laggard is down 4% at 51.09. XLRE is down almost 1.75% at 43.17. All right, let's check out some of the ETFs we like to look at on this show. IWM, the Russell 2000. You see that gap down right there. You see that gap down right there. I'm going to go on a 5-minute chart. All right. IWM is down almost 3.5% at 254.80. SPYM is down almost 2% at 79.21. QQQM is down almost 2% at 245.56. SPYG, you see that gap down almost 2% at 101.68. SOXQ is down 4.29%. Oh my God. Terrible. At 61.34. TQQs is down almost 6% at 46.77. SOXL is down. This is triple leverage, y'all. It's down 13.75% at 54.21. SOXX is down 4.5% at 336. XLG is down over 1.5% at 56.26. The IVES 30 is down over 3.25% at 28.90. SPYI is at 51.19. QQQI is down almost 2% at 51.52, y'all. Woo! Goodness gracious. All right, let's check out these war stocks again. Give me a second to drink this coffee. Give me about 20 seconds. Man, look at BNO, the Brent Oil Fund. It is up over 6.5% at 39.77. And then USO is up over 7% at 93.58. But all this other stuff is down. That's interesting. Oh, this is the ETF. Okay, so XOP is down 1%. Actually, let's look on a daily chart so we can see what actually happened from yesterday. Look at that. This was the play right here. This was the play. That thing ran crazy. Gapped up twice in a row, yo. It's crazy because yesterday it seemed like it wasn't gonna continue. Because look. Let's go on to 20 minutes. So yesterday, you see it had gapped up, right? It had gapped up yesterday. And then it had came down. And then it came back up at the end of the day. So it didn't look like it was going to continue. It didn't look like it was going to gap up again. But it did. So yeah, it's looking very strong. And where did it gap up to? It gapped up to my line right here, my daily level, 39.80. Great call by me. Great technical analysis. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's check out USO. Ooh, that thing gapped up too. And then we had a small gap right here. Maybe I gotta change the color of the consolidation. Okay, so this is from Friday, gapped up to Monday. And then this is from Monday to Tuesday, gap up. Yeah, that thing ran though. That thing ran for real. Alright, next target I got on here is 97. 100 is most likely going to be a psychological level as well. Just for a heads up on that. Alright, and here we have XOP. So this was the gap up from yesterday. I mean from Friday. From Friday to Monday. And then it ran up, came out of the consolidation zone, and came right back in. So that's what we got. On XOP, let's check out IEO. Looks like it hit an all-time high today. Here's a little gap up. All these gonna have a gap up. All right, so this is Friday, gapped up on Monday, ran up today, and then sold off. That don't mean that it can't continue going up, but it did sell off. It's not nearly as strong as the first two we looked at. Okay, let's check out XLE, our energy sector ETF, hit an all-time high yesterday and sold off. Yep, it sold off. And looks like it just filled the gap that was down here. All right, let's check out Lockheed Martin. Looks like it hit an all-time high yesterday. And then sold off and closed the gap. Yep, gap filled to the downside. That's a $30 move though. Let me see, from the all-time high, it's down almost 4%. Let's see if we could get another level on here. Let's put a weekly level right there. Oops. Now let's go to the daily. $6.50. All right. So if this thing pulled back to 650, might have another potential entry to the upside, especially if this war goes on for what did Trump say, 4 to 5 weeks. And then if it breaks that, then I do have this weekly level here at 634. All right. We had this gap here. Okay. So I hit an all-time high. Let me put that on here. Hit an all-time high today and sold off. So you can wait for the gap fill before going back to the upside on Northrop Grumman. All right, RTX. Let's put the gap on here. Hit an all-time high yesterday. Same thing, you can wait for the gap to fill before heading back to the upside. Chevron with Techron. Remember them commercials? Alright, so hit all-time high yesterday. And sold off. Yeah. Let's see if we can put some more levels on here. Alright, let me run that up. And a nice bounce right here. Yeah, so if we come down 184.20, possible bounce. It breaks that 180.60. Right to the upside. As long as the war going on. Look at this. Let me put the all-time high up here. Alright, let me put some more levels on here. Go ahead and round that up. Alright. ExxonMobil. All right, comes down to 148.50. We got some support here. If it ends up breaking this weekly though, got that right here. Here we go. All right. So let's run the numbers with the algo on our war stocks. Oh, with these gap ups. So, yeah, this is a second entry. This is a second entry on BNO. As you can see, the P&L is at 0. So it's actually not going to start until tomorrow, because when the signals go on a daily, that means you got to wait for the daily candle to close. So you got about, at the end of it, you got 5 hours and 57 minutes before this candle closes. So you might get a different position. But we can check out the 4 hour and see. We have a signal on the 4 hour. Give you something. We had a buy here on Thursday at 5 a.m. So the entry would have been here at 34.28. So this is a second entry. So after the second entry, it hit TP1, almost TP2. But everything is green, as you can see on our chart there. All right, let's check out BSO. Should be the same thing. Let's see. We had a buy signal here. So this is the initial entry, 81.19. You hit all 3 take profits. So this is the second entry here at 87.19. Hit TP1, and it's headed toward TP2. So 95.17 price target, followed by 99.16. Let's see if we have anything on the 4 hour. Back Thursday, 5 a.m. Same thing. All right, let's check XOP on the daily first. See what we got. Got a strong buy from back here. January 14th, 131. This is definitely the second or third entry. But got a price target. 163.14 followed by 166.72 and then 170.30. Let's see if we have any new on we got a buy on the 4 hour here on Friday. Looks like the second entry. So this may flip though, because it's currently under the stop loss. So this is probably gonna flip on a 4 hour in an hour 54 minutes. All right, next. How long we been on? 45 minutes. Finish this out at 5 minutes. All right. IEO. Same thing. Had a buy signal back here January 8th. That thing been running. So the next take profit, it got 114.76, 117.21, and 119.67. I did have a sell. Came to the stop loss in the market in the pre-market, but it sold off. So, actually, this P&L is at 0. So you gotta wait for this candle to close. 1 hour 53 minutes. Next, XLE. See what we got. You had a buy here January 2nd. Wow, $45. And that thing ran up. Okay, so it's very close to the stop loss right now. This is probably the third entry. As you can see, it's down 71 cents. So, yeah, if you got in when the first signal happened, you up very nicely. All right, we had a sell signal here on Monday at 5 a.m. It touched the stop loss, but it did not close above it, so you will still be in the trade. You currently be up 55 cents with a target of 55.35, followed by 53.86. This is if you want to play the downside, but you know, as long as the war's still going on, I wouldn't play the downside too heavy. Not at all. All right, next, Lockheed Martin. You had a buy here January 9th at 5.44. As you can see right now, it's at 6.66. So, yeah, this is definitely the second or third entry. And it's very close to the entry. But if you want to play it to the upside, next target is 677, 688, and 699. Oh, Lockheed Martin. All right, next we have Northrop Grumman. You had a buy here January 12th. It's probably the second or third entry. The entry was 768. You take profit of 796. It's currently pulled back from this entry point, but this is, like I said, the second or third entry. So, yeah, it has pulled back. Next, RTX. Had a buy back here December 10th. Woo! 174. That thing ran to 208. This is probably the second or third entry as well. It's pulling back currently, but if you got in anywhere down here, you're good money. CVX. I need to do a show where I just do just go through like 100 tickers and look for a new buy signals on the daily and weekly. Maybe I should do that on the weekend show. All right, Tuesday, January 13th, we got a strong buy here on Chevron. It was at 163 and ran to 189. So this is the second entry. Currently up $12 from here. So the next, we did get a close signal here on Thursday, but the next take profit is going to be 193, 193 on Chevron. All right, ExxonMobil. We had a sell here. Came down, hit TP1, and bounced. Got a close signal here. That thing ran up. All right, let's see if we got a sell. On the 4 hour. We got a sell here on the 4 hour yesterday at 5 a.m. Entry 154.55 with a target of 148.55. But I wouldn't be too bearish on these oil and defense stocks. Not while the war is going on. All right. Let's check out the heat map. Let me refresh. Oh, it's still all red. It's still 99% red, y'all. Still 99% red. Wow. Incredible. Let's check out the HR display. Alright. Check out the sectors. Everything's still red on the sectors. That's it, y'all. Let me play this Instagram motivation. And we are out of here. You know, some days it's going to be red days in the market. But that ain't stopping nothing. Because, you know, that's part of the game. We still going to do what? The Russell, what we going to do? You signed to the rock now. What we going to do?
Said, go get that bag. Go get that bag. Get that bag. Get that bag. Get that bag. Go get that bag. Get that bag. Go get that bag. It don't happen overnight, and there's gonna be moments when it's really, really frustrating, and there's gonna be moments when it's really, really inspiring and empowering. And if you get too high off the highs and too low off the lows, you're gonna take yourself on a ride that's very uncomfortable. I think it's just about being committed to the work, and appreciating it, you know, when it's good, and not stressing too bad when it's bad. Just appreciating the work and staying focused on showing up every day. It don't happen overnight, and there's gonna be moments when it's really, really frustrating. And there's going to be moments when it's really, really inspiring and empowering. And if you get too high off the highs and too low off the lows, you're going to take yourself on a ride that's very uncomfortable. I think it's just about being committed to the work, and appreciating it, you know, when it's good, and not stressing too bad when it's bad. Just appreciating the work and staying focused on showing up every day.
We'll be back tomorrow morning in the pre-market. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.